Again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Frankie Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Frankie Rose.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. Happy Monday. So, day 4 with the Adam Montgomery trial. I haven't heard if he's going to be a no-show, but I will assume he will. His track record has not been great. The one advantage that I can see with him staying put was a couple, actually. I can't see why any juror wouldn't be looking at that empty chair and wondering why, you know? And then there's the fact that the people that are taking the witness stand, most of them are terrified of him. With him not being there, I'm sure they feel a lot more comfortable speaking their truth, you know? So how you doing, Juju? How you doing, Shawnee? You guys are the early risers this morning with me. I got up at my regular 4 o'clock time, putzed around a little bit, and looked to see if there was anything else that was going on. So what do you guys think about what was happening yesterday? Oh, looky, there's movement. With that female taking her 5-year-old to go to that church. Now, it sounds like that guy, what is he, like a televangelist or something? I've never heard of him, but I've been watching him walk around with that permagrin on his face thinking, you're a pretty weird dude. I don't remember his name either. Oh, that was shocking, right? Extremely disturbing. I mean, who would have expected something along those lines? I haven't heard whether or not the 5-year-old, I think it was a little boy, wasn't it? I haven't heard if he has survived the night, but I certainly hope so. You know, somebody obviously missed and hit a child when they were trying to get her. Just unbelievable. So we're going to have Kayla on the stand again this morning. I think she's doing really well, you know, considering they're trying to, I think it's the defense that's going to go at her today. And they're going to try and put everything on her. That seems to be their strategy at this point. Wasn't Adam, it was Kayla. From what I'm seeing of her on the stand, that doesn't look like crocodile tears. Those look pretty genuine to me. And I have a hard time believing that it was a woman that did that. I do. And although Kayla, I mean, she's probably strong enough, but she doesn't seem to have the temper that Adam does. You know, she seemed terrified of him, actually. So they had this set for 6:45 my time, but it's 7 o'clock on a lot of other people's timing. So I'm not sure what's going on. We'll get our times figured out with this trial yet. Yeah, I stayed live with that last night for about an hour and a half. They had just finished deleting her and started to, an empty chair, and started telling us what was really going on there, what they were thinking was going on, and absolutely devastating. Okay, sounds like my dog's into something. I'll be 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Lizzie was trying to open a bottle of water on my new couch, my new wrong couch. I should find out this week if they're going to bring the right couch or if they're going to say, no, you got to keep this. And if they do that, I just might return the son of a gun, the son of a biatch. Are they going to work with us or are they not? There's the question. They're telling me that they only give 2 days. And after the 2 days, you cannot return the item. But I had no idea. The couch wasn't even used. It's covered. Well, it has been, but it's all covered. Like it's perfect. So I might have to put on my big girl ginch and have a little say so. $3,000 for some furniture, and they bring us the wrong shite and then won't replace it? No. Frankie's other side might pop out. Hmm. So I'm assuming, just by watching what's going on, is they're not going to start until 7. It's been interesting, hasn't it? So how do you guys think Kayla did on the stand? Uh, I'm noticing that we can't hear a lot of what's going on. They don't seem to have microphones, and if they do, they're not good ones. I haven't seen one at the witness stand. Crazy world we're living in. Yeah, let's blame this on Kayla. Good Lord. No, I agree, Juju. No. I think if she can keep doing what she's doing, she's going to be fine. I'm really impressed with how she's done so far. And if he stays at the courtroom for another day or two, let her, well, probably just today, let her say her piece without him staring her down. I think we're in a good place. I just don't think she did it. I think she was just as terrified as anybody else was of that ass. I don't know well, I was going to say, I don't know how people wind up with that kind of situation, but that wouldn't be true because I've ended up in some pretty crappy situations and shook my own head. You don't think so? No, me either, friend. I just don't see it. And I don't think they're going to have any way of really talking the jury into believing even that it was her. I just am not seeing it. Just stay off, stay away for another couple days, let her say her piece. But he's the kind that'll just show up to intimidate her. That's what I think. I don't see how they will. They will not with Adam's record. Yeah. And I mean, even his actions, in while he's being interrogated, like he's so arrogant. Oh, what's going on with you today, Lizzie? Why are you being a sissy? Sit down. Yeah, it would. I agree with that. Yeah, it would be terrible. I really hope that he just stays where he's at because the only reason he would show up would be to intimidate her. And I'm sure his lawyers have said, listen, you're not doing yourself any favors here. I don't think he's going to get away with anything. Just him not showing up for court. Not a good look, in my opinion. I agree. I agree. If his lawyer says, you know what, you're looking not great because she took the stand and there's an empty chair there for you. So what are you going to do about it? You can't do anything. You're not there. You don't even know what she's saying until after. Well, you might be sitting in lockup watching TV, you know. Here you go. Okay, you guys, you're done with the cat treats. It's all good. So I wanted to do that live on the stuff that. Good morning, my sweet. Good morning, my lovely. I said good morning to you, but you must have been away doing real life stuff. Talking about real life stuff. Oh, here's a beautiful man. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey, good hit. All righty then. Oh, you're very welcome. Hey, Douglas. Thanks everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. Just waiting for them to get organized there. So Wednesday morning, I have a dental appointment, so I'll be streaming late. But what I'll probably do is, oh, platypus. Um, like I've done other times, I'll start at the very beginning and then I'll skip through, you know, uh, their breaks, their lunch, and catch up. So I'm with you guys, but I want to see it all as well. So if you're not getting caught up somewhere else, come over and join me. Oh, I'm having a hell of a time with this stuff. My hair, my hair. Oh, okay, you're working. No problem. You're usually pretty good at making it as soon as you can, friend. You're pretty awesome. So yeah, dental appointment, I think it's 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Yeah, 9 a.m. And I'm just getting some fillings done, so it won't take me long. I've got one that fell out on my front teeth, and I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Sounds great, Shauna. Oh, let's just keep our fingers and toes crossed that that little puke doesn't decide to hit the table today. Can you imagine? It would be interesting, not with like I'd rather he waited, but I'd like to see him actually sitting there because I'd like to see his reactions to stuff. I don't think he'd react well. Maybe that's part of the reason he's not going. He doesn't know how to act his age. One bit. So I wonder, let's see how sidebars go today. They've been having lots of those lately too. But like I've said in other streams, they're so polite compared to Jennifer Crumbly's trial that we just watched. Look at the misbehaving that went on there. It was just what? And then we've been taking a look at Ethan Crumbly's Miller hearings, and she's, of course, still working for the prosecution, so she's dealing with that. And literally, her voice is like nails down a chalkboard for me. It's like, oh my God, woman. You can imagine her being the little cheerleader, biatchy person in high school, because that seems to be her demeanor. But lots of interesting stuff coming out in the Miller hearings as well. You learn a lot about Ethan and his situation. Yeah, you're right. The judge sets the tone for the court. Very, very true. It's their house. That is their house. You know, sometimes these judges, they're so very, ooh, that's a good question. Very good question. I'm sure Kayla will do absolutely fine today. With the defense coming at her, or hold on here. Who isn't is it the state today or the defense? Because the defense will go at her. Wow. Seriously, James? Any of you guys watched that football game last night? I didn't. I heard the halftime show was not great. They have Usher, I think, right? I don't know who else, or do they only have one performer? I don't know this stuff. But I'm happy nothing happened because I was really, really worried about that. And I thought about watching it just to see if it imploded, but no, everything was good. I didn't watch it and it turned out good. So a candidate that can't talk English. Well, no, like the monarchy, they're German. Like they're not even English. It's crazy here too, James. It's yeah, it's questionable. A candidate that cannot talk English in an English speaking country? I'd love to hear your voice sometime, James and Douglas. All you guys with those cool accents. Bangladesh? He won't win it. He won't get in though, right, James? We can't have people that don't. Yeah, with your accents, I would love that, Douglas. I love accents. I would just love to hear your guys' voice. I'll get you guys up on panels sometime. We'll all talk with our different accents. A couple more minutes and they should be back in. People say that I've got an accent, a Canadian accent, but I don't know what that is. Oh, James. Just like I said to Mexi, head for the mountains. I don't like my voice. I don't think anyone really does. I'm not a fussy on mine. It's not how I hear it in my head. In my head, I've even got a great singing voice, but I don't. My inner voice, I sound like the next Beyonce. I just sound so good. Outside, I sound like a male cat in heat. Because I'd be a female. Oh, that's a great idea. We can do that. I think that's a great idea. I'll set something up. Let me remind myself. You can't sing either, James? Okay, chat on Discord. I don't know why my phone goes off at 7 o'clock. Like I've been up for 3 hours. I have to fix that, I suppose. A ridgy-dig Aussie accent. I don't know what that is. A ridgy-dig. I was liking some of those songs that Tony did, and I'd get singing along, and it's like, oh my God, I'm not on mute. Oh, it's like going on with no teeth in. It's all about the class. Old school Aussie. I can't remember how old you are, or even if you told us. Like, we're all pretty close to the same age. I think I'm like the senior, go figure. I think Tony was just a couple years older. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, Paul Hogan, right? Most well known. Well, no, Steve Irwin, probably the most famous. Paul Hogan's right up there. Do you hear her? I'm sure you do. Life is so stressful when you can't have a cat treat. It's like my little kids. Hopper, hello, hello, Melissa. Oh, okay, I understand then. Douglas, similar to Paul Hogan. I don't think he's going to show up. We were talking a bit earlier, like it's best if he stays away while Kayla's on the stand. We don't need him glaring at her and, possibly intimidating her. Good morning, good morning. This is a knife. That's not a knife. Knife? This is a knife. Oh, it is. I just think he's too wimpy. He might want to come in there and intimidate Kayla, maybe, but I think that's about as far as he would go. I know, Crocodile Dundee. That ain't a knife. This is a knife. Okay, a little after 7 o'clock, so we should be rolling, 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 rolling. I'm ready. Let's hear what else they have. Kayla's an important witness. Melissa. There's so many. That was a good show. I haven't watched that in years. That was pretty good. Absolutely. Absolutely awesome. If I get a next life, if that's the way it works, I need to travel more. Start buying lottery tickets or something. Are you serious, Chopper? What the hell?
Council Perch?
Yeah, and you know what? I've seen a lot of the prosecutors and I mean, the lawyers sitting there texting. It's just shocking to me. Yeah, it was pretty darn good. Oh, Paul Hogan's show. I didn't even know there was one. Not interesting. Yeah, yeah. So what happened with that? Like, how does he get disciplined? Yeah, damn straight. Yeah, somewhere in the Caribbean. Beauty. Just beauty. So we're having our first sidebar, and we haven't even started. Was he? Yeah. She withdrew from being a judge now, basically, but it's still just, it's very disgusting. Oh, you got a friend that looks like him? That's awesome. Did not show the true Aussie bloke. I bet. Yeah, I bet. I watched some, I don't know what program it was. It was a few years back where he showed his home. Oh my word. Very nice. I want a cork hat. Hey, I'm sorry. Let me get settled. Not me, Melissa. Not I. I want a cork hat. Yeah, it would be nice to see this guy show up for his trial one of these times, but hopefully he just waits until she's off um, the witness bench so he can't intimidate her. Did you watch the halftime? I heard it sucked. Yeah, I heard it was not good. Hmm. Was it last year that it was Rihanna? Good morning, Dandy. Hello, hello. They're having their first sidebar. They haven't even said good morning to the gallery or anything. It was just okay. So I imagine it'll be another one of those days. Sidebar, sidebar, sidebar. Hmm. Oh, nice, Melissa. Lady Gaga. Gags. Lady Gags. Right back, I'll let my dog out.
Be careful of the wires there. Right, if everyone's ready, please rise for the jurors.
Rise for the jury.
May be seated. Ms. Montgomery, I remind you, you are still under oath.
Yes.
I believe when we left off on Friday morning, by the way, when on Friday we were talking about getting ready to sit down and talk to police after you were arrested on 2 charges of perjury.
Yes.
And you told the police that you wanted to talk to them, but it took a while before you actually talked to them because they had to contact your attorney and write up the letter that set out the terms of what would happen to you based on what you said.
Yes.
And essentially those terms were that what you said couldn't be used against you, but would be used as a gauge for whether or not they wanted to enter into an agreement with you, right?
Yes.
And so if you said something that hurt you, they wouldn't be able to say Kayla admitted to this and charge you with a crime, right?
Right.
But at the same time, if they found evidence independently to support what you said and that you committed a new crime, they could charge you.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. And so this agreement did not include those conditions that you had written while you were in your jail cell thinking of cooperating, right?
Yes.
Because they had not come to you with any sort of cooperation agreement.
Right.
Okay. Now, you knew in going to talk to them that they wanted information about Harmony being missing, right?
Yes.
Whether or not she was alive,
Yes.
when she went missing,
Yes.
under what circumstances she went missing.
Yes.
And these are things that you had been thinking about since the time of your arrest, right?
Yes.
And when you first told the lie to the police and to the grand jury that the last time you saw Harmony, she was driving away with Adam to be taken to her mother, follow-up showed that not to be true, and you knew it, right?
Yes.
And one of the ways that you knew it, other than what you had lived through, but you knew they had found it not to be true, was that you had seen and heard Crystal Sorey talking on the news about her missing child, right?
I didn't see that right when they were questioning me.
Okay. It had been going on for a little bit, though, right?
Yes.
And also, while you were in your jail cell, you got what's called discovery, right?
Yes.
And that is police reports and searches and the results of all that stuff that is sent to you as a part of you being charged for a crime, right?
Yes.
And that discovery included the investigation into Harmony being missing.
Yes.
And it included the charge of the reports and stuff on the charge of second-degree assault against Adam.
Yes.
And so you knew what people had said to the police and stuff about that second-degree assault charge.
Yes.
And you also knew that the charge was for Adam striking Harmony in the face.
Yes.
And you knew that there was a claim of black eyes from that, right?
Yes.
And when you told the police your story of what happened to Harmony, the allegation that you had was striking her in the face, right?
Yes.
And you included a story of black eyes.
Yes.
All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is the timeline of your accusations against Adam. So on June 3rd, you met with the police for a pretty long time, right?
Yes.
And it was the meeting that you had was audio and video recorded.
Yes.
And your lawyer was present.
Yes.
And the police were generally the ones asking questions.
Yes.
But there was somebody from the Attorney General's office who was also present.
Yes.
And then after that interview, and it was fairly long, right?
Yes.
There was a break in between, but between the two of them, it was really long.
Yes.
And then you got booked for the perjury charges.
Yes.
And during booking, you said something to Detective Dunleavy about Portland pie.
Yes.
And that Adam had taken the body to Portland pie from the freezer and then returned it to Union Street later.
Yes.
The plea agreement, well, then you talked again on the June 23rd.
Yes.
And on June 23rd, that was also audio and video recorded.
Yes.
And about the same amount of people were there.
Yes.
And generally the same people.
Yes.
And after that, you did reach your deal, right?
Yes.
But, and you were out for the interview on June 23rd. You were back out on bail, right?
Yes.
And then, as we talked about, sometime in September, you got arrested and reincarcerated.
Yes.
And then sometime after that, you and your attorney you got an agreement with the state.
Yes.
And under that agreement, you could serve a minimum of 2 years.
I don't remember.
I think you testified on direct that you got a 3.5 to 7 suspended and a 3.5 to 7 to serve, but you could get out. You could get 1.5 years suspended off of that, right?
Yes.
So that would be a minimum of 2 years.
Yes.
And you also got credit for the time that you had put in while on bail.
Yes.
And so your parole hearing comes up in a month or two?
May.
May? Okay. Now, after you reached the agreement, you pled to that agreement in November of
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
And then in March of 2023, you had another meeting with the same group of people.
Yes.
And where was that meeting?
At the Attorney General's office in Concord.
And you were housed in the New Hampshire State Prison for Women at that time, right?
Yes.
And you were transported from the prison to the Attorney General's office to talk to him.
Yes.
And that interview was also recorded and video recorded.
Yes.
And generally the police were asking the questions,
Yes.
and the prosecutor from the state might ask a few,
Yes.
but he was there for the whole thing watching.
Yes.
And then, so that was March of 2023. And then this December of 2023, you met with the state again, right?
Yes.
And was that the same sort of thing where you were transported from the prison to the Attorney General's office?
No.
Where was that meeting?
At the women's state prison.
Okay. And who was present for that?
Myself and Chris and my lawyer and Amy.
And Amy's somebody who works with the Attorney General's office?
Yes, she's an advocate.
Okay. And there you were not recorded, right?
No.
And that meeting was also a long meeting?
Yes.
Reviewing things that you had said before?
Yes.
Reviewing what your testimony would be at trial?
Yes.
Questioning some things that you had to say?
Yes.
And I think I said it, but it was not recorded.
Right.
And then you met with them again in January?
Yes.
Same sort of situation?
Yes.
And that was around January 10?
Yes.
And was that about as long?
Yeah.
Going through all the stuff that you had said before?
Yes.
Questioning you on the stuff that you had said before?
Yes.
And getting ready to testify here.
Yes.
And then January 19, you met with them again?
January what?
19?
Yes.
And same situation?
Yes.
So that you're going over what you had said before,
Yes.
going over what you're going to say to the jury,
Yes.
and there might be some questions about what you said before, and so you kind of go back through it and work through that.
Yes.
And that was that it as far as meetings?
Yes.
Okay. And during all that time, you had plenty of time to review in your mind your memories and talk about things that you had said.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about some of the things that you've said to the jury and before the jury trial, okay?
Yes.
So you talked about after your eviction, which was November 27,
Yeah.
you lived in your car for about 2 weeks.
Yes, a few weeks.
From November 27 to the day it broke down on December 7.
Yes.
Little under 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. And as you're evicted, you take some items with you,
Yes.
take some clothing for the kids.
Yes.
You take the toothbrush for Harmony.
Yes.
Make sure she can brush her teeth while she's in the car.
Yes. We all had toothbrushes.
Huh?
We all had toothbrushes.
Okay, so Declan and Seamus also were brushing their teeth?
Well, they had baby toothbrushes.
Okay. And so you made sure that you packed those things that the kids need for their hygiene.
Yes.
And some clothes for each of them,
Yes.
in addition to what they were wearing.
Yes.
And then you probably got some extra bibs and stuff for when you're feeding Declan.
Yes.
and diapers
Yes.
and food.
Yes.
Okay. And extra underpants for Harmony.
I don't remember.
Okay. You had outerwear for the kids,
Yes.
coats and shoes,
Yes.
and socks.
Yes.
And the next day was Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And do you recall where you stayed on Thanksgiving?
No, I don't remember.
You didn't celebrate a Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, right?
No.
Okay. And the day after Thanksgiving, you went to your mom's house.
Yes.
And you went the day after Thanksgiving to see if she could put you up.
Yes.
And she wasn't able to.
No.
But you were there at her house for a while.
Yes.
And you used that time to clean up the kids.
Yes.
Because they had been in the car the night before.
Yes.
And to clean them up a lot better than just wiping the boys when you change their diapers, right?
Yes.
And brushing their teeth
Yes.
and changing their clothes.
Yes.
Did you use her laundry while you were there?
I don't remember.
Okay. And your mom took that time to get to know her grandchildren,
Yes.
including Harmony.
Yes.
And she couldn't put you up, so you had to leave.
Yes.
And you stayed in the car that night.
Yes.
And then that was, by the way, November 29, the day after Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
And that's the same day that you had a car accident, right?
The 29th, yes.
Okay. And that was a car accident with Tabitha Scott in the front seat, you in the back seat with the kids.
Yes.
And Adam driving.
Yes.
Sorry. And police came after the accident.
Yes.
And you had Declan in a car seat.
Yes.
Seamus was in some sort of
He was in a car seat.
okay. And Harmony was not.
No.
You did not have a car seat for Harmony, right?
Right.
And you were in the back, so she wasn't in a seatbelt either, right?
No.
And that was a problem when the police officer came, right?
Yes.
And blanket was thrown over Harmony and she was told to hide so that the police officer wouldn't know that you had too many kids in the car that were, and one was unrestrained.
No.
Okay. You were hiding the fact that you did not have Harmony restrained in the back seat at the time of the accident.
Yes.
And then Adam had his license at that time, right?
I don't remember if he lost it then or not.
Okay. Well, he was able to drive away from there after the police officer talked to you all, right?
Yes.
So he probably had his license, right?
Probably, yes.
Okay. And Tabitha Scott, your friend that was in the car at the time of the accident, she was a friend, right?
Yes.
And she really liked Harmony, right?
Yes.
She would play with Harmony, right?
Yes.
And sometimes play dress up and stuff like that with her, right?
No, but okay. I don't remember that happening.
Okay. Remember taking photographs and like photoshopping them to put stuff on them and stuff like that in
Yes.
photographs? Okay. And Tabitha was somebody that you would have babysit the kids sometimes.
Yes.
And sometimes it would just be Harmony and you would take the two boys with you, or sometimes she might do all three.
Yes.
And your accident on the 29th, do you recall that being in the afternoon?
I don't remember.
Okay. And do you recall if you went to your mom's before or after that?
I think I went to my mom's later that night.
Okay. And Harmony did not have black eyes when you went to your mom's,
No.
right? So she did not have black eyes when she was in that accident, right?
No.
Pardon?
No.
Okay. Now, December 1st. Well, that was an accident on the 29th. And you made up a lie about November 30th. What did you actually do on November 30th?
I don't remember.
Okay. How about December 1? Do you know what you did that day?
No.
Do you know where you stayed?
In the car?
Do you know where the car was?
No.
Was it at Colonial Village?
I remember that's where we would normally park and sleep in the car.
Okay. You said that Anthony Bodero, and am I pronouncing that right? Bodero?
Yes.
Okay. That he would come down to the car while you were in the parking lot.
Yes.
And I think that you said that he would give you drugs.
Yes.
And that he would see Harmony during that less than 2 week period that you were in the car.
Yes.
And that he would come down, she would wave to him.
Yes.
And he would wave back.
Yes.
And Harmony was not undercover when she would wave to Anthony Berdera.
No.
And she was not hidden from public view or Anthony Berdera's view when he would come down in the morning.
No.
And I think that you said that he might come, maybe not every day, but pretty frequently.
Yes.
And he also brought you some Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yes.
And when he did that, he saw Harmony.
Yes.
Now, there was another accident on December 2nd. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember that you had another accident outside of the clinic after the accident on November 29?
Yes.
And that was during a time that you and Adam had been going to the clinic, right?
Yes.
And the kids were not with you at that time.
I don't remember if they were there or not.
Okay. So it is, and I think you said reviewing the accident report would not refresh your recollection? Or would it?
I don't remember.
If I gave you the accident report, do you think it might refresh your recollection?
I will try and remember.
I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4-page document, and I've actually highlighted the date on the first page just because there's so much information. But do you think if you reviewed the accident report, it might refresh your recollection that your kids were not in the car?
I remember the accident, but I don't remember if the kids were in the car or not.
Okay.
Even looking at this, I don't remember. I just remember we were in an accident outside the clinic.
Okay. And I think we talked about that a little bit on Friday, that the police asked you about that as well.
Yes.
During your interview, right?
Yes.
And that you said that maybe Tabitha or maybe your mom was babysitting the kids.
Yes.
So if you were in the accident and the kids were not with you, they would have been with somebody that you trusted to babysit them.
Yes.
Harmony would not have been hidden from whoever that babysitter was.
No.
Harmony would not have been hidden from public view.
No.
Harmony would not have been hidden under a blanket.
No.
Now, do you recall it snowing at all while you were staying at the Colonial Village parking lot?
I know that there was snow on and off.
Okay. There was actually a bit of a storm. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And that was when you were parked at Colonial Village.
Yes.
And did you go inside to the Bodero's residence during that storm?
I don't remember going in there.
Okay. Did you ever take the children into Mr. Bodero's residence to brush their teeth or to clean them up or anything like that?
I remember bringing the kids up to his apartment, but I don't remember when that was.
Okay. So let's talk about living in the car. You got a couple of boys that are quite young.
Yes.
One is about 11 months,
Yes.
and your other son was 2.5-ish.
Yes.
And they can only stay in the same position one time for a certain amount of time, right?
Right.
And then they start getting pretty rambunctious, right?
Yes.
And fussy.
Yes.
And Declan, if he gets fussy, will cry.
Yes.
And that'll make Seamus cry.
I don't remember that.
Okay. And Harmony also, maybe not as rambunctious, but would get pretty fussy about being in the car for a long time, right?
Yes.
And so you would try and find ways to entertain them.
Yes.
And one of the ways that you entertained them was to go to a public place like maybe the mall, just to get them walking around inside for a while.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You remember losing your phone at the mall while you were walking, you and Adam were walking around with the kids?
No.
Okay. One of the ways that you would entertain them was to take them to places like Walmart when you were shopping for more food.
I don't remember going there.
Okay. What were the ways that you entertained them?
I don't remember what we did with them. I just remember living in the car.
Okay. But you didn't have the children in the car 24/7, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you play or take them to walk on those balance beams and stuff on that little play center at the back of the parking lot at Colonial?
I don't remember.
Okay. Let's talk about the food that you had. You would eat things like tortilla wraps,
Yeah, we had tortilla wraps.
bananas,
Yes.
peanut butter,
Yes.
apples,
I don't remember apples.
baby food,
Yes.
cereal,
Yes.
formula.
Yes.
And if you had cereal, you had milk.
I don't remember keeping milk in the car like that, but
Okay.
possibly.
So if you had baby cereal, Seamus would just eat it dry.
Yes.
And what was Seamus eating at that time? He was doing a mix of baby food and real food.
Yes.
Okay. And sometimes you'd feed him your food,
Yes.
little bits, right?
Yes.
And you'd have to make sure that he took it and put it in his mouth, right?
Yes.
Instead of dropping it on the car floor.
Yes.
And Declan had formula. Did he also
Baby food.
Baby food?
Yes.
How about the cereal?
No.
So you would have to turn around and feed Declan in the back seat, or would you put him on your lap and feed him in the front seat?
I'd turn his car seat around so that he'd be facing that direction so I could feed him.
Okay. And diapers?
Yes.
So when Declan or Seamus would go to the bathroom in the car, they would be
Yes.
going to the bathroom in diapers, right?
Yes.
And Declan, his diapers didn't smell too much, right? Because he was still just a baby.
I don't remember.
Okay. But Seamus's diapers would smell, right?
Yes.
And so Seamus and Declan are both going to the bathroom in the car in their diapers.
Yes.
And you would change them where?
In the car.
And all the time?
If we were just living in our car, yes.
And then you would throw the diapers in the dumpster?
Yes.
And certainly in Colonial Village, you had a dumpster nearby.
Yes.
And then you would try to clean them up more than just the wipes when you change their diapers, right?
Yes.
And that would be in public restrooms.
I don't remember going to public restrooms.
Where would you clean them more than just wipes?
I don't remember.
But you remember that you would.
I remember cleaning them with wipes. I don't remember bringing them to any like restroom or stuff like that. I don't remember that.
Okay. So you talked about going to your mother's on the 29th of November. Is that the last time that they got a thorough cleaning?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't do that to your kids, right?
I wouldn't, but if I was stuck in the situation I was stuck in, then yeah.
Okay. You had your own hygiene to worry about in the car, right?
Yes.
And I think that you said on direct that you would ask Harmony to come with you, and sometimes she wouldn't.
Right?
Sometimes she would.
Yes.
And where would you go for your hygiene?
If we ended up going to a gas station that had a bathroom.
Okay. So one of the places that you used to clean yourself and Harmony up was public restroom in a gas station.
Yes.
Perhaps convenience store?
Yes.
Perhaps Walmart?
I don't remember going to Walmart.
Okay. So sometimes she would come out of the car with you and go into the convenience store and you would clean her up, right?
Yes.
And she would not be under a blanket.
No.
Right? And sometimes she didn't go with you.
Right.
And if she had not gone to the bathroom for a long time, would you insist?
I would ask her.
Uh-huh. And she would say what?
She would say no, she doesn't have to use the bathroom.
Okay. And if she hadn't gone to the bathroom for all day, would you insist that she go to the bathroom with you?
Yes.
And when you insisted, did she go with you?
No.
Okay. Okay. Now, you talked about sometimes Harmony would go to the bathroom in the car.
Yes.
Was she wearing underwear during that whole time?
Yes.
Where did you clean her underwear?
We didn't clean her underwear.
Okay. So and I think that you said it was urinating and defecating in the car.
Yes.
And I'll call it pee and poop. Okay.
Yes.
And so you said that she did both.
Yes.
And then, so suppose she peed in the car. What would you do to clean it up?
We would change her clothes.
Okay. What else?
That's it.
Would you clean the car?
Wipe the seat. Yeah.
Okay. And would you clean the underwear that she was wearing?
No, they'd get put in a bag.
Okay. So you had like maybe 7 or 8 or 9 pair of underwear for her to wear?
I don't remember.
Okay. And you said we would clean her up. That would be you and Adam?
Yes.
And when she, how many sets of clothes did she have?
I don't remember.
Probably just a couple, right?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Okay. Do you know if you had more than a couple?
I don't remember.
Okay. But if she urinated in her pants, you would have to not only change her underpants, but also her leggings, right?
Yes.
And do you know if you had a bunch of leggings as well as a bunch of underpants to replace them?
I don't remember.
Okay. And then when she pooped, you would clean her?
Yes.
You would wipe her with the baby wipes?
Yes.
And then would you take her to a public restroom to get her more clean?
No.
Overruled.
Pardon?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry. It's
No, I don't remember.
okay. So, and you would sort of understand that she was going through a difficult time because of so many changes in her life.
Yes.
And so you would understand and tell her, Harmony, I know this is difficult, but you really have to tell us when you go to the bathroom,
Yes.
before you go to the bathroom, right?
Yes.
Because, and you try to encourage, come with me, we'll take care of it, we'll be in the bathroom, come with me, right?
Yes.
And did you ever buy pull-ups for her when it became more than a one-time thing?
I don't remember.
Okay. Something you might have thought of, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. And being cooped up in that car for so much time with the kids was a little bit difficult, right?
Yes.
And it was difficult for the kids too, right?
Yes.
So sometimes chaos would just erupt, right?
Yes.
Declan crying, Seamus crying, Harmony crying, right?
No.
Okay.
They never really cried that much.
Okay. But when they cried, it would sort of cascade, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. And it's like what's happening to one would go to the other, and it would just be chaos, right?
Yes.
And how would you soothe them?
I don't remember.
Now, you said that Bodero didn't want you staying at the Colonial Village parking lot, right?
Right.
He was actually afraid somebody might notice and he would
Yes.
get in trouble.
Yes.
But you also said that he came down daily or every other day or so to give you drugs.
Yes.
So you didn't want to come down and in public hand drugs over to a car that's squatting in a parking lot where it shouldn't be.
Right.
He came down to meet with Adam.
Yes.
And Adam occasionally would drive him places because Adam had his license.
Right.
And he would drive Madero's car and you would be there with the kids.
I don't remember that.
Okay. But he would have Adam driving him places?
I remember he did that when we were staying at the house. I don't remember him doing that when we lived in the car.
Okay. Well, Badero wasn't. Did you have money while you were in the car?
Not really.
Okay. So you pretty much had to count your pennies when you bought more food and stuff like that.
Yes.
And you couldn't splurge in anything because it was pretty tight, right?
Yes.
But when Adam would meet up with Mr. Badero, he would be able to get some drugs.
Yes.
And Anthony Badero was not giving him drugs for free.
No.
Right? Adam was doing Anthony some favors.
I don't remember that.
Hold on. Approach.
Another sidebar. Yeah, she only got 18 months, and it had something to do with perjury charges and what have you. But yeah,
Objection is sustained. The question can be rephrased.
and I'm sure she can
So
get out
when
a little
Adam
earlier.
and Anthony got together, after a while, Adam would be able to come back with some drugs.
Not when we were living in the car.
Anthony Badero was not giving out drugs for free, right?
Overruled.
Right?
Sometimes he would, sometimes he wouldn't.
Okay. And actually, on the day that your car died, and you described going to the clinic and coming out and going to Burger King and then going back to the parking lot, Adam asked you to go up to Anthony Badero's to get some drugs, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. And he asked you to do it because Anthony might front you a bag because he never says no, right?
Approach.
She seemed like she was terrified of him. Look at that one picture where her whole face was black and blue. My assumption is he would have an explosive temper on the regular. I don't think he would be a safe person to be around. And I've wondered too, why didn't she just grab Harmony and run? Do you think maybe the reason would be that she was afraid for the other kids?
And that
I don't know.
he asked you to go to Badero's to get drugs that day because Badero would front you.
Overruled. It's cross-examination. You may proceed.
Would front you a bag because he never says no to you, right?
That's not true.
Which part?
That he never says no to me.
Okay. But on that day, that's why Adam asked you to go up to Badero's to get some drugs.
I don't remember that day.
Okay.
Overruled.
I'm going to show you a copy of the transcript of the interview that you did with the police on the 23rd. And it's marked Defendant's Exhibit 2, D2 for ID.
Could you say that? Could you just repeat the ID?
Exhibit number D2 for ID.
D2. Okay, D2. Thank you.
So may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Now, we talked about your interview on June 23rd with police. I'll come in a second, right?
Yes.
And that interview was recorded, right?
Yes.
And Detective Jack Dunleavy was there,
Yes.
and Detective Max Rahill,
Yes.
and a U.S. Marshal was there,
Yes.
and an Assistant Attorney General was there,
Yes.
and your attorney was there,
Yes.
and you were there.
Yes.
And that was June 23rd. I'm going to show you a copy of this transcript and point out some stuff so you'll know that's what I'm talking about, okay?
Mhm.
Let's see the date
Yes.
and the people that were present.
Yes.
And so I'm going to point you to page, and like with anything that I give you, I'm going to point to an area that I'm interested in, but you can read before and after to sort of orient yourself, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to point you to page, to that area there and ask you to take a look.
Yes.
No, that's them, not me. I think she's just going over part of a transcript that they want her familiar with. It's pretty bizarre. They're asking her a lot of questions that she seems to go like, no, that never happened. So you gotta, they're getting all their information from Adam, right? And then twisting it somehow into trying to blame Kayla for doing this. And it doesn't make sense to me in my mind. Yeah, I think you're right, Dandy. Just whatever was available at the time. They had preferences, but I don't think that they could always get that.
Your recollection about what you did that day?
I remember saying that, but I still don't remember that happen. I don't know. I don't remember that day. I don't remember that happening that specific day.
I'm going to
It's true,
unpack that
Chopper.
a little bit, okay? And I pointed you to something that you told the police officers and everybody else that was there on June 23rd, right?
Yes.
And on June 23rd, you were present to let them know, maybe to correct some stuff from June 3rd and talk more about what
I'm not quite sure
happened
what that means, friend.
back in December of 2019.
Yes.
And they wanted you knew they wanted you to talk about your memory, right?
Yes.
They didn't want you to make something up, right?
Right.
And you had had plenty of time to think about it, right?
Yes.
And to remember what happened, right?
Yes.
And some of the details that they were interested in, they sort of they talked about in June 3rd.
Yes.
And so are you saying that you didn't remember that day when you spoke to them on June 23rd? or that you did remember it in June 23rd, but you've forgotten now?
I don't remember that specific thing
Uh-huh.
on that day. Like me actually going to see Tone and asking for a bag of drugs. I don't remember that.
But it is something that you told the police that day, right?
Right.
And that you and Adam were in the car and you went up to Tone's to get a bag of drugs. That's me. I knew that tone. But let me actually check because I don't know that I checked it when I walked in. So it was not me, but if I could make sure mine's off. You're not disagreeing that you did tell the police that, you just don't remember telling the police that.
Right.
And if you did tell the police that back in June of 2023, you would have been telling them, this is what I remember.
Right.
So you don't remember it today, but you told them that you went up to get
Approach. Oh, asked and answered. Overruled. Go ahead.
drugs from your friend Tone Badero.
I don't remember that specific thing happening that day because I've done it a lot of times.
Okay, but you're not disagreeing that you told them that that's what you did that day.
Right.
Okay, and Tone sometimes will give you drugs for free,
Right.
but that's not what he normally does.
Right.
Okay. And throughout the time that you were in the car, Adam would do things to find ways to get money to buy drugs from Mr. Badero.
Yes.
And one of the ways that he did that was to do things for Mr. Badero.
Not while we were living in the car.
Okay. Now, there were a lot of people that parked at the Colonial Village parking lot, right?
Yes.
And it might not have a whole lot of people during the day, but in the morning before work and in the afternoon after work, it was pretty full.
Yes.
And you did not want to be noticed in the parking lot.
Right.
Because somebody might tell on you and you'd have to leave.
Right.
And you wanted to be there close to Mr. Badero's apartment.
Yes.
But especially in the morning and in the afternoon when people were moving around more before work and coming home from work, you wanted the kids pretty quiet.
If they were quiet, I don't remember.
Well, you didn't want your children screaming in the car, right?
Right.
You wouldn't want that cascade of chaos where Declan might cry and then everybody starts crying.
That's not a normal thing that would happen.
And you wouldn't want it to happen, right?
Right.
You would want them, especially during that time period, to be pretty quiet so nobody notices.
I don't remember that.
Almost every morning, you went to the clinic in the morning.
Yes.
Maybe you missed one, but certainly not. It was a regular daily thing, right?
Right.
You would get up and you would leave the parking lot,
I agree
go
with
to the
that.
clinic, get your dosage, and then go off somewhere else.
Right.
Might go to Burger King,
Yes.
might go to a gas station,
Yes.
might go to some other place and use the facilities and restroom.
I don't remember that.
Okay, if you went to a gas station, you would use the facilities, right?
Right, but you never mind.
Okay. There were other places that you went besides a gas station and Burger King, right?
Right.
Okay. And if facilities were available to use, you would take the opportunity to take the kids out and clean them up.
Yes.
Okay. And if Harmony had messed her
I don't think this
clothes,
lawyer
you
is
hand wash
making
the
any
clothes?
points.
Overruled.
No.
Okay.
We'd change her clothes.
Okay. But if she peed in her pants, her clothes would still smell like urine.
Right.
And if she did it a lot, you had a limited amount of clothes, right?
Right.
And if she pooped her pants, you'd also have to remove the clothes and change them with something else.
Right.
And you didn't have 2 weeks worth of clothes for Harmony.
No.
As a matter of fact, you described what Harmony was wearing, and it was pretty much the same thing the whole time, right?
No.
The leggings that you remembered that she was wearing,
Right.
those were the leggings that she was wearing when she left the house.
No.
Okay. And I was talking about money, that Adam would find ways to get some money. You were not working, right?
Right.
And you were not pulling in any money, right?
Right.
You were watching the kids.
We were staying in our car.
And you were watching the kids, right?
Yeah.
And you were not working.
No.
And you talked on direct when you were being questioned by the state, and you said that you had confessed to your crime of theft at Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Yes.
And you said that you had taken responsibility for that crime, right?
Yes.
Well, you actually got caught in that theft, right?
Yes.
And you were given an option of writing a confession and reaching a restitution agreement, or the police would be called.
Yes.
And so accepting responsibility was taking the lesser way out of the problem so that you wouldn't get a theft charge.
Right.
And you reached an agreement to get out of criminal charges.
Right.
Okay. You were held responsible for that charge, for
Yes.
that crime, right?
Yes.
Just in a different way.
She just seems so spaced out.
By the way, when you used drugs in the car, you wouldn't use them all. You would sort of spread out the usage as much as you could.
Yes.
And so you may not get that as good of a feeling as you would get if you had more money and a better situation, right?
No.
Okay. Doing the drugs sort of eased life's worries.
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, because life's worries still intruded even while you were using the drugs, right?
Yes.
And especially if the kids were fussy and everything, you couldn't just sit back and relax with the drugs. You still had to pay attention to the kids.
Right.
And if they were crying, you still had to soothe the kids.
Yes.
And if they needed changing, or Seamus, Peter pooped in the car, or Harmony, Peter pooped in the car, you couldn't just sit back and relax. You had to do something.
Yes.
Okay. We talked about those several statements that you gave to the police and the prosecutor from the Attorney General's office about the death of Harmony.
Yes.
And those stories changed a bit over time.
Yes.
And when you first told the story, you said that Harmony was peeing and pooping in the car, and Adam punched her 10 to 15 times in the parking lot of the Colonial.
Yes.
And that it was like at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yes.
And when the officer asked, you mean in the overnight hours? You said, yes, it was in the overnight hours that this happened.
Yes.
Because something did happen at 2 or 3 in the morning on the day that Harmony died.
Yes.
And that was that Adam got in the car and Harmony did not wake up.
No, that's not what happened.
Okay. What happened at 2 or 3 in the morning on that day?
Harmony had an accident and Adam kept punching her in the head.
Okay. At 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it was still like, it was the middle of the night.
And so in the middle of the night at 2 or 3 in the morning, you're saying that Adam punched her 10 to 15 times.
Yes.
And Harmony was crying,
Yes.
screaming.
Yes.
Declan would start screaming.
I don't remember what Declan and Seamus were doing.
Well, that cascade effect that when one of them is crying and there's chaos in the car, all of them were crying, right?
Not really.
Okay. And then what did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I tried telling him to stop, but he doesn't listen.
Okay. What did you do about the mess?
I didn't do anything about the mess.
Did you clean the car?
No.
Did you clean Harmony?
No.
Was it a pee or a poop?
I don't remember.
Smells are considerably different, right?
Right.
Both
But
of
the
'em-
car already stunk.
It stunk from all the kids living in the car, eating in the car, peeing and pooping in the car, and food being left around the car. Right?
Yes.
Odor.
Yes.
And so if Harmony peed in her seat at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, are you saying that if you left her sitting in a puddle of pee?
Yes.
And if she pooped at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're saying you left her sitting in her own defecation?
Yes.
Why?
Because I was scared of Adam.
Did he tell you don't clean her up?
No, but when I told him to stop, he gave me the crazy eyes that he has. And I just didn't want to do anything because I was scared of him.
Okay. And then things calmed down and everybody went to sleep?
No,
Everybody stayed up?
I don't remember if everybody stayed up, but I know I didn't go back to bed.
Okay. So you were up till 2 or 3 in the morning until you woke up, until it was time to go to the clinic.
Yes.
And I think the clinic was 7 or 8 in the morning.
7.
Okay. So you sat in the car and did nothing until 7 in the morning.
Right.
And you don't remember kids crying and screaming?
No.
I believe that you testified to on direct that Adam woke up and smelled pee or poop.
Yes.
Do you know which that was?
I'm sorry.
Urination or defecation, do you recall?
No.
Okay. And he got mad at her for peeing or pooping in the car.
Yes.
Was it a fresh pee or poop?
I don't know.
Okay. So you don't know if she peed or pooped in the car from 2 or 3 in the morning?
No.
Okay. And one of the things I think that you described Adam saying at one of the things was, why don't you let us know?
Yes.
Like he's surprised at Harmony that she's smelling in the morning. So you're saying he struck her in the morning before the clinic because I think that you said before to the police because she peed herself while still in the parking lot.
Yes.
And that made him mad, you said?
Yes.
And so she peed before you went to the clinic?
It just smelled like urination all the
Okay.
time.
Okay. And she didn't have any injuries that you saw that morning, right?
No.
And you go to the clinic, right?
Yes.
And at the clinic, the two of you have to go in one at a time, right?
Yes.
And the reason that you have to go in one at a time is because somebody had tattled on you at some time earlier for leaving the kids in the car while the two of you went together.
Yes.
And so you were parked in the clinic right out front,
Yes.
and other people are also getting their dosage.
Yes.
And at least at some point, people were paying attention about, well, I'll take that back. So you're right out front of the clinic. I think you, looking at that paperwork, saw that you went in first,
Yes.
and then Adam went in.
Yes.
And did you take that time to clean the car?
No.
Why?
Because I didn't.
Okay. I think you testified that when Adam got in the car, you said, I'm hungry, and I'm sure the kids are hungry.
Yes.
And it was you that wanted to go to Burger King for food.
Yes.
And did you want to go to Burger King because you were hungry?
Yes.
Did you want to go to Burger King because you wanted to clean the car?
No.
Why not?
I didn't.
Okay. Just you were hungry and you thought maybe the kids were hungry too.
Yes.
Okay. And Adam drove to Burger King to get you food for the kids.
Yes.
And Adam was not interested in food, right?
That's not true.
Why not?
Because he was hungry too.
Okay. Do you remember telling the prosecutor that Adam, I'm sorry, on March 16, of 2023. Do you recall telling the prosecutor that Adam was not interested in food?
No.
All right, I'm going to take a different exhibit. Actually, I'm going to use a different copy.
Done deal, Chopper. It's at the very, very top. Let's see here. Private chat just for us and the wall of shame. Very, very top. Great idea, friend. I think a lot of us are like that.
Yes.
Try to lighten it up a little bit, right? Sidebar, another sidebar. Good morning, Maxie. Yeah, there's a lot of messed up people in this world. I mean, they had no money. How could they have actually been buying diapers and getting substances? The methadone clinic would be free for them. And yeah, they've only got so much for clothes. So what the heck was Harmony actually wearing? I don't know. I have a lot of questions still. I'm not too fussy on his lawyer. I think it was H. Pretty sure it was H. And I don't know where all the other kids are. I know she won't have access to them for a long time. And of course, Adam, I think he's what, facing 60 years as it is before he goes, this is over. Yeah, and her 18 months, I don't know what is it, a third gets cut off for good behavior. So I don't imagine it'll take too long and she'll be back on the streets, making more babies. Yep, they absolutely did. They absolutely did.
I'm going to show you a copy of a transcript of the interview of March 16, 2023. And like before, I'm going to ask you to read a portion of it, and then I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
So here it is. Not quite as pretty. I'm going to be asking you about this, but you could read before or after.
Okay.
Okay? You know when you're ready.
Yeah, it's a mess. She ever got a lot of hair? Holy crap, man.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so you, during
I
that
mean, I don't
interview,
know.
told the police
Maybe,
that
right?
Adam didn't care if he ate or not, right?
Right.
He wasn't there because he wanted to eat, right?
Right.
And if the prosecutor said in opening that he went to Burger King because he wanted to eat, and he did eat while driving away, that's not your recollection, right?
No.
Okay. And that's not something you ever told the police, right?
Right.
It's just plain wrong. No, withdraw, yeah. And one of your claims is that on the way to Burger King, and I think that you said that he gets in the car at the clinic and smells
Urine.
urine and says, Harmony, why do you keep doing that? Why don't you tell us when you have to go?
Yes.
And he got angry outside the clinic
Yes.
and he struck her in the head
Yes.
in front of the clinic,
In the car. Yes.
in the car, right?
Yes.
Where people are going in and out of the clinic.
Yes.
And where at one point somebody had noticed that you left your kids alone in the car and told on you, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said that he was also yelling at her.
Yes.
And you told the jury that she was making weird noises on the way to Burger King.
Yes.
Okay. And you said that there were 3 different events on the way to Burger King, 3 different times that he was maybe at a stoplight or something and would strike her again.
Yes.
And yelling at her.
Yes.
And striking her 3 to 4 times each event.
Yes.
And Harmony's crying.
Yes.
And Declan's crying.
Yes.
And Seamus is crying.
No.
Why not?
Not just because somebody's crying doesn't mean the other one cries.
Adam yelling in the car.
Yeah.
Not cause Seamus to cry.
No.
And Adam striking Seamus's sister right next to him didn't cause Seamus to cry.
No, he didn't.
And
know what was
Harmony
going
crying
on.
in pain didn't cause Seamus to cry.
No.
Okay. Okay. You said the final time that Adam hit Harmony in the head, he said he felt something.
Yes.
That, and I think you claim that Adam said, I think I heard her this time. I did something.
Yes.
And was that in a scared voice?
Yes.
Okay, so Adam thought perhaps he went overboard?
Yes.
And this was pulling into the parking lot at Burger King?
Yes.
And so, being scared, he drives up to the drive-in window.
Yes.
He orders the food that you want.
Yes.
He pays cash.
I don't remember.
Okay. When you spoke to police back in June of 2022, you recalled that he paid in cash.
Basis? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I end up saying, I can't say with an S, I have to say ooter. I can't say the F bomb. I mean, periodically it happens, and I have not gotten in trouble for it, but I've also had other ones. I mean, uh, there's two streams that I've done on Adam Montgomery, this case, that they've demonetized me. I don't make any money on all that now. And
This is a good
they've
time
just
for a
found
break. I'm going to
something
ask the witness
and
to
decided they're not
stay
going to
there.
pay
We'll
me.
take 15 minutes, and then we will resume the testimony. All rise for the jurors, please. Same reminders, ladies and gentlemen, don't talk about
Yeah, yes, it can. It detects phrasing too. The sensor AI is super advanced. Yeah, all the things, it's true. All of that is true. It's, why I use unalive, or you notice in my titles, like I've got MUR
15 minutes, everybody.
asterisk and then ER because I can't use that word. There's a lot. It's not the easiest platform. It's not the easiest platform to keep your nose clean in. Alrighty, so break time.
Maybe not hear you in the conference room. It's the correspondence from the focus from the. We're bringing the witness now.
Okay. What else can we learn? Do you think it's, or we've got a little bit of an advantage because Adam's in jail and is refusing to come? Do you think Kayla feels a little more free to speak?
If everyone's ready, we'll bring in the jurors. Please rise for the jurors, please.
She seems just out of it. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they absolutely can. There's a lot that they can do that is just like, okay. She is just out of it. Let me check over here.
Please be seated.
Right before we took the break, I asked you if you told the interviewers, police or whoever, in June that you thought you paid cash.
Yes.
And you didn't remember, right?
No.
If I showed you a copy of your transcript, I'm going to ask you again to read what you need to, but this will be what I'm asking you about. So you told the police in June 23rd of 2022 that you thought you paid cash.
Yes.
And that would make sense because Adam was doing little things to try and collect cash, right?
Yes.
And you certainly had no money in the bank on your card, right?
No. Right.
So after this panic that you say that Adam feels, goes up to the drive-through, right?
Yes.
And the jury was at the Burger King, and you sort of make a roundabout way into the drive-through, right?
Yes.
And it's wide open there, right?
Yes.
And people are coming in and out of Burger King, right?
Yes.
And you stop at one place to make the order,
Yes.
and you ordered croissants and hash browns,
Yes.
and this was for you and the kids.
Yes.
And then you pull around, turn, and go to where you actually have communication with a live person.
Yes.
And the first thing that you do before you get your food or anything like that is turn over, but Adam is doing it because he's in the driver's seat, right?
Right.
Turning over the cash.
Yes.
Might have been card, but probably not, right?
Right.
You know, do you have a specific recollection now of whether it was cash?
No.
Okay. So assuming cash, but card would be the same, you turn it over to the clerk, right?
Yes.
And then the clerk does what the clerk does with money,
Yes.
and then opens the window again and maybe counts out the change.
Yes.
And Adam would be there with his hand out and change being counted out into his hand, right?
Yes.
And then maybe that change is handed to you so that he can then reach in again for the food.
Yes.
And when the food comes in, he probably takes the bag and gives it to you.
Yes.
And you said that just before that, the Adam was scared because he had been striking Harmony and something different happened.
Yes.
And while he's striking Harmony, the children are screaming.
Yes.
Going in through the Burger King parking lot.
Yes.
Going through the Burger King order spot.
Yes.
And going through the Burger King drive-thru.
Yes.
And you did not do anything, as you said, with Harmony.
Right. Right.
She was just laying there in the back.
Yes.
And right there as he drives up to the clerk at the Burger King parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. And you said Harmony is moaning in the back seat?
Yes.
And I don't think you said it, but you were, was it a moan that you understood to be a dying child?
No.
Okay. What was the moan?
I don't know. She was making a noise.
Okay. And you didn't check on her, right?
No.
Didn't throw a cover on her.
No.
Didn't have to turn around and soothe the boys in the back seat to make them quiet.
No. They weren't always crying just because one other kid was crying. They weren't always crying.
But violence, chaos, yelling, and screaming would make them cry.
They didn't. They weren't really. They never really cried that much.
Okay. Okay. Did you ask to run in and maybe get some extra napkins to clean up the urine on the seat?
No.
With that smell lingering so bad, did you think maybe to ask if Harmony could go in and clean up?
No.
Did you do anything to deal with the smell of urine?
No, because Adam said she could just lay in it.
Okay. All right. And he was upset with the smell?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I think actually you say that the kids may not have been crying. I think that, did you tell the police that you thought the kids were sleeping?
Yeah, they didn't really make any noise.
Okay. Kayla, that assault never happened, did it?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Well, you describe physically trying to stop him,
Yes.
Adam. You describe verbally trying to stop him.
Yes.
Nobody wants a person to strike and hurt a child,
Right.
especially a 5-year-old child under your care.
Right.
And you cannot allow that to happen. You can't sit by and allow that to happen, right?
Right.
Okay. But you said that you stopped trying to do anything because he looked at you with the face of pure evil.
Yes.
Uh, so you just got scared and shut up, right?
Yes.
Because his face was pure evil, right?
Yes.
And pure evil, a person with pure evil is not someone you want to protect.
No.
And a person who is pure evil is not someone that you love.
Well, that's hard to say.
Okay. A person of pure evil is not someone you want raising your children.
Right.
Okay. And you would do anything to get your kids away from pure evil.
Yes.
And even though Harmony was your child, you felt the same about her.
Yes.
She was pretty much your child.
Yes, I helped take care of her.
Okay. And when you and Adam split up years later, or March of 2021, you wanted him back.
We were both trying to fix our family and get back.
You wanted him back with the family and raising the children.
Right.
And when you were sitting in your cell thinking about this and reliving it, and you wrote that note about your thoughts about what you wanted, you indicated that the children needed Adam as well as you, right?
Right.
And that's not the face of pure evil, right?
No.
Okay. So you said to the jury Friday, I believe, that you fed the children at the Burger King parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
We were leaving the parking lot.
As you were leaving the parking lot, you were feeding them?
Yeah, I handed them food.
Okay. Who'd you hand food?
I handed Seamus some food.
Uh-huh.
I handed Declan some food.
Uh-huh.
And I reached behind my seat and was giving Harmony the food, but I just put it down, thinking that she was going to be grabbing it.
Okay. So, do you remember telling the police that you fed the children at the Colonial parking lot?
No,
Okay. Did you feed the children at the Colonial parking lot?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, your car died at the intersection late morning-ish. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And you were at the clinic at 7-ish?
Yes.
Okay, so you were in the Colonial parking lot for a while, right?
Yes.
All right. And you don't recall talking to the police about feeding your children in the back seat at the Colonial?
No.
All right. First of all, we'll, before I ask some more questions, set up the situation. Declan is in the car seat by the behind the driver.
No.
You've got Seamus there now.
Yes.
And so you're having Declan in the middle seat.
Yes.
And Harmony is on the
Behind.
passenger side behind you.
Yes.
And Declan is under a year.
Yes.
And you got croissants. What were you feeding Declan?
Pieces of food.
Okay. So you would break off a little piece of hash brown?
Yeah, something. I don't remember what I was feeding him.
And would you hand it to him and make sure he grabbed it?
No,
You just sort of put it back there?
I put it in his mouth.
So you would turn around from the driver's side and put little pieces of food in Declan's mouth?
No.
What?
I reached my arm back and put it in his mouth because he's in the middle.
Okay. And Seamus, okay, so would you turn to reach your arm back and look and make sure you're getting it in his mouth?
I could feel it.
So you reach back with your arm and you feel around for his mouth and put it in?
Yes.
Okay. And then Seamus, you also have to give him small pieces of food, right?
Right.
And with Seamus, you break off a small thing and you give him and make sure he takes it in his hand, right?
Right.
And so you turn around and reach over to Seamus and hand him his piece of food.
I didn't turn around
Okay. Why not?
because I could see him. I just handed it to him like that. He was sitting in the car seat.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Do you remember describing to the police? Oh, and also you said that you took some and you handed it back to Harmony?
I gave a sandwich to her, yes.
You gave a croissant to her?
Yes.
So you bought the croissant for Harmony or for you?
There was 3 of them.
Okay.
There was one for her, and then there was one for Adam and one for me. And the one that I had, I broke apart and gave to the kids.
Okay. And so what'd you do? Put the whole sandwich back there for Harmony?
Yes.
Did you check and see if she was eating it?
No,
Why not?
because I didn't.
Okay. Okay. And Harmony's position while you're doing that, I think she's leaning against her brother beside her.
Yes.
And then sometimes she's leaning up against the door, I think.
Yes.
And you don't check on her.
No.
Don't check and see if she's eating.
No.
But you make sure that you've put the food in Declan's mouth.
Yeah, because they're younger.
So you weren't concerned about Harmony at that point.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. You feed them directly because they were younger. You don't feed Harmony directly because, or make sure that she's eating. Why?
Because she can open the package and eat it.
Did you hear her open the package?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. And so after that, you went up to Bodero's to get some drugs.
We went to Colonial Village.
Sustained.
Okay. So when you went to Bodero's to get some drugs,
Overruled. Council approach.
Another sidebar. They have a lot of sidebars, don't they? Actually, this morning it hasn't gone too bad. And I don't think this lawyer is making a lot of points. Like they're supposedly putting this on Kayla, and Kayla's not, I don't know if she's not remembering intentionally, but it's working. There's no information really coming out. And these I don't remembers kind of suspicious, but again, nothing's coming out. So I don't know. This is one day I'm glad Adam isn't in there because I'm pretty sure he'd be making the witnesses very uncomfortable. Yeah, and that's exactly what they say. It is that one of the kids were smacked so hard that it made weird noises. Freaking Adam.
So after you ate, you got some drugs.
I don't remember doing that.
Council
You remember
approach,
having-
council approach.
Another sidebar. She looks like she's ready for a nap. I don't know why I don't have the closed captions. I looked. She really does, James. I don't quite understand what she's thinking, but yeah, round and round. Maybe just trying to catch her in a lie. I don't know. It does. I agree with you. I don't think there's any points being made. I feel like we're dealing with Elaine from the Depp trial. Yeah, those poor babies is right.
Rephrase the question.
And after you ate, you and Adam did some drugs.
Yes.
And you did not ask Bodero to call 911.
No.
You did not ask your friend Bodero to come out to the car to maybe help you while you checked on Harmony.
No.
You did not ask to take Harmony up to Bodero's apartment to maybe clean her up and make sure she was okay.
No.
Okay. And fair to say today you don't know where you got those drugs from?
We were always at Colonial Village where he lived, and he's the one that we got drugs off of.
Okay. And but you do recall actually feeding all three children in the back seat, right?
Yes.
And you recall that you were feeding them, and do you recall that you said that you were feeding them with one hand because your other hand was in the bag for your food?
No.
Okay. So let's talk about why you left the Colonial. At that point where eventually the car broke down. Okay. Did you have concerns about Harmony in the car at the time that you left?
No.
Did you look at Harmony at all in the car before you left?
No.
And you said that Adam, struck her God knows how many times.
Yes.
And that she had been crying, and that Adam actually got scared that he had hurt her.
Yes.
And you never checked.
No.
And you described on direct when you were talking to the state that whenever you all were out in public, Harmony would be covered up so no one would see.
Right.
That wasn't quite true, right?
Not in the beginning.
Okay. And not at Burger King.
Yes, she was under the blanket in Burger King.
Okay. Do you recall saying that she had a blanket on her lap?
No,
when you were feeding her?
I just knew the blanket was there.
And that you put little pieces of food on her blanket that was on her lap to feed her?
No. I don't remember putting pieces of food on her lap.
Sort of toss back a sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had no concerns about Harmony?
No.
You said that she was moaning before she was at Burger King?
Yeah.
And you said that she was moaning after Burger King.
Yes.
And that moaning had you concerned,
Yes.
but you didn't check.
No.
And I think you just said because you weren't concerned.
No, I am concerned. I was concerned.
Okay. And you didn't check on her.
No.
And Adam, you described as being scared that he would hurt her, had hurt her.
Yes.
And where did you go from? Where were you going from the village?
I don't remember where we were going. I don't remember if we were going to figure out how to get money to get more drugs. I don't remember what we were doing. I don't
Okay.
remember why we left.
Okay. So that if this were true, then Adam would be driving around with a critically injured child in the back seat in public.
Right.
And it would have been a pretty important place to have to go for him to take that sort of risk of driving around with a critically injured child in the back seat.
He didn't care.
Okay. And you did or did not?
I felt like I had no say.
Okay.
Anytime I said something, I'd get yelled at.
Okay. And then you say that at the intersection. By the way, what drugs did you do that day?
I remember doing heroin or fentanyl.
Okay. Not crack.
I don't remember if we did that or not.
Okay. So when you said on direct that it was heroin and crack, that's not what you recall.
I don't remember doing both or not.
But you do recall heroin and fentanyl.
Yes.
Okay. And so we discussed timing with the Colonial at 7 and then the breakdown late morning, right?
Yes.
So you were at the Colonial for a few hours.
We were at the clinic at 7.
And then Burger King and then the Colonial.
Yes.
And so you were at the Colonial parking lot for a few hours or a couple of hours before you left for wherever it was you were going.
I don't think we were there that long.
Do you recall the tow truck driver, do you recall going back to the intersection and the tow truck driver was there?
You're talking about after the car broke down?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I remember when we got brought back.
Okay. And that was like after 12:30 or so, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And how long did it take you to walk to Mr. Vadero's from the car?
I don't know. It felt like a long walk. I don't remember how long.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so let's see. In that time that you were in the Colonial parking area on the 6th, prior to the car breaking down, Harmony was in the car, but she was dead, right?
No.
Basis? Yes.
Sorry. Harmony was on the 7th, between your 7 o'clock session at the clinic, dosage at the clinic, to Burger King, to the parking lot, to using drugs, to late morning driving away.
Yes.
Harmony was dead in the car, right?
Not throughout that whole time.
Pardon?
Not throughout the whole time.
She was actually in the trunk of the car, right?
What?
Were you and Adam planning or trying to figure out what you could do with Harmony because she had died?
No, that didn't happen yet.
Okay. Okay. So,
Didn't even make any sense.
somewhere important, you had to go with Harmony in the car, and you break down at the intersection, right? The car
I didn't
does.
have anywhere important to go.
Okay. So at the intersection, there's Webster and Elm Street, right?
Yes.
Elm Street is a big road, 4-lane.
Yes.
4-lane in the sense that it has turning lanes, right?
Yes.
And Webster is smaller, 2-lane.
Well, it was still 2 lanes where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it changes. And so you were on Webster getting ready to get onto Elm Street.
I don't remember which way we were going. But I knew we were at the light. At the light. First car at the light.
So you don't know if you were in the 4-lane part or the 2-lane part of Elm Street or the 2-lane part of Webster?
We were right on Webster at the light.
Okay. And the light turns green and the car doesn't go.
Right.
And there are cars around you
Yes.
honking,
Yes.
looking at you.
No. They were just figuring out why the car was there. We had to keep telling them to drive around.
Okay. So you and Adam are sort of waving them around,
Yes.
or you're waving them around?
I was waving them around to go around the car.
Okay. And Adam, I think you said, got the duffel bag out of the trunk?
Yes.
Because the duffel bag was in the trunk, right?
Yes.
And Harmony's body was in that duffel bag already.
No.
Overruled.
You tell Adam, well, I think Adam asked you what to do, right?
Yes.
This is a pretty bad situation, right?
Right.
With Harmony in the car like she was.
Yes.
And Adam asked you what to do.
Right.
And you tell him that you should.
Yes.
I'm not fussy on Elaine here. Yeah, as a defense attorney, even listening to her testimony last week, she's she's not doing a good job, you know. And for one thing, Kayla is standing up for herself. I don't think that this lawyer's being straight at all. Damn defense lawyers. Like, it bothers me how much leeway they have. She ended up in a bag, but they're trying to put it sooner than it was. James. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Hmm. So do you think that Kayla's being honest on the stand, or do you think she's BSing?
So you tell Adam that,
Sustained. Well, approach if you want to approach.
Yeah, I don't know quite what to think at this point as far as if she's being totally honest or not. I haven't looked, I mean, I've looked at this for a very, very, very long time, but I don't know where to put Kayla yet. I know where to put Adam, but I'm not quite sure where to put Kayla yet. She's listening. Yeah, I'm not usually one for the defense, and I'm sitting in that position again. He's got a shite ass lawyer for a client that is just like
and at that
not.
intersection, um, you all
Well said.
pack up and go to Badero's, right?
Right.
And that was your idea.
No.
It wasn't?
No.
I'm going to refer you to, I'm going to approach first, Your Honor.
Yeah, I can agree with that. She's trying to minimize her involvement. No, me either, Shauna. Not even a little bit. Lots going on right now as far as the house goes, so I'm off camera for a bit, off and on for the next while, anyways.
I'm going to show you a copy of the transcript of your June 3rd interview. I'm going to move this clip a bit because it might be hidden by it. And ask you again to review a portion of it, and I'm going to ask you a question, and that is the area. Page 50 for the record.
Okay.
And you told Adam that you should go to Badero's, right?
I asked him if we should.
Okay. So it was your idea. Right?
Yeah.
And you gathered, Adam grabbed a duffel bag from the trunk.
Yes.
You got your purse and stuff from the trunk.
No, my purse was not in the trunk.
Okay. So you got your purse and you got some stuff from the trunk. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You got some diapers for the kids,
Yes.
and you couldn't take too much with you because you were walking with all the kids to Mr. Badero's.
Right.
And you can't wait around for any kind of help because you have to get Harmony's body away from that car as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you about discovering that Harmony was dead. I think on direct, you said that Adam opened the door and said something like, baby girl, wake up, or wake up, baby girl.
Yes.
And she wasn't moving.
Right.
And that's when he popped open the trunk, you said.
The trunk wouldn't open.
It did eventually, though, right?
We moved the car seat out of the car so that he could move the seat to get into the trunk.
Okay. And Adam checked her breathing.
He was just trying to wake her and she wouldn't wake up.
Okay. Do you remember Adam saying that Adam put his hand over her heart?
No.
And so that didn't happen? You don't have a recollection of Adam putting his hand over her heart?
No, I don't.
Okay. But you did tell the police that in June of 23rd that he put his hand over her heart to check her.
He was checking her, but she wasn't waking up.
Okay. So he did put his hand over her heart to check her.
He tried waking her up. I don't remember the hand on the heart.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police on June of 2023 that he checked her breathing and like put his hand on her heart?
No.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Copy of that same transcript, okay? And ask you to review that paragraph there, okay?
I still don't remember that, but I can see that I said that, but I don't remember it happening.
Okay. But what you told the police back in June of 2023, you were telling them as if it was a memory, right?
Right.
So either it wasn't a memory or that memory is gone.
I don't remember.
And you also checked Harmony, and she wasn't breathing.
Right.
You checked her neck and you checked her wrists,
Yeah.
and you were looking for a pulse.
Yeah.
Must have been panicking.
Yeah.
Did you do that before or after you were waving cars around?
After.
Okay. So after you have checked Harmony, you're saying that you went to the back of the car and you're sort of waving cars around to get them around your car.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did you do that?
Until we got the stuff out of the car that we needed to get out.
Okay, so are you doing that while Adam is getting stuff out of the car?
No, we're both on each side of the car doing the same thing, trying to get stuff out.
Which side of the car were you on?
I don't remember.
Okay. And you claim that as these cars are going around and beeping and everything, that Adam put Harmony into a duffel bag.
Yes.
And the four of you walked to Colonial Village.
Right.
Now, on direct, you said that you never saw Harmony bleed.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. Did you ever see blood on her?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And you told the police that while Adam was throwing stuff in the back and cleaning the car, that, you told the police that Adam was putting stuff in the bag and cleaning the car, right?
After
What?
After we got to Anthony's and he brought us back to the car to get stuff out.
Uh-huh.
And he cleaned it.
Okay. And you said that he cleaned the back seat because he had blood on his hands from hitting Harmony.
I don't remember.
Yes.
You were asked what Adam was cleaning, and you said that the back seat because he had blood on his hands from hitting Harmony, right?
I don't remember that day of him doing that. I just remember cleaning the car after.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the questions, and then we'll do some more. You said that Harmony had a bloody nose, and he had blood on his hands from hitting her, and he was wiping the seat with a napkin, right?
Overruled.
I don't remember it that day that she passed away that was happening.
Okay. And you were asked if Badero said anything about Adam's bloody hand, right?
Not that day.
Okay, I'll go through. And you said no, he had already cleaned up his hands because that event, the bloody nose thing, happened days before, right?
Right.
And you were asked more about whether Harmony had blood on her on her that day.
Right.
And you said you saw dried blood on her face, right?
Right.
And you said that that was the day the car broke down that you saw dry blood on her face.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to go through the transcript and ask about some of those other things that you didn't remember and see if it refreshes your recollection.
Approach. She listens to everything that they're saying. She doesn't seem like she's the slightest bit intimidated, that's for sure. She saunters. That's a really strange way to do your hair.
I'm going to show you, again, it's that transcript from June 23rd. And ask you to
So do I.
read portions of that transcript. And I'm going to show you 229 down to all of 229 and 230.
Mm. There's no way she did not see the shape that that little girl was in. I don't buy that. I don't know if she's blocking stuff out. Whatever they seem to have her on. Yeah, that's exactly it, Jonathan. I agree with you. And she faces no charges when it comes to Harmony.
Smith.
I think so too, Shauna.
That help refresh your recollection?
Yeah.
And so you did tell the police that Harmony had a bloody nose and had blood on it. He had blood on his hands and was wiping the seat with a napkin.
Yeah, but that happened days before. Happened before she died.
Sure. But the wiping was on when the tow truck driver was there?
Yeah,
No
when we
problem,
went back to the
Dandy.
car,
Okay.
I remember cleaning.
Okay. And it was for the blood that was on the car?
I don't remember what it was for. Adam just wanted to clean it.
Okay. But you recalled that you did see blood, you said, on Harmony's face,
Yeah.
right? And it was that day, right?
Yes.
And where you saw Adam cleaning was around the area that Harmony was sitting, right?
Right.
And you said that Adam had blood on his face that day? I mean, on his fist that day?
Yeah, on his hand.
And that Harmony had blood on her face?
Dried blood, yeah.
Right. But not from days before. Are you saying she had dried blood from days before?
Yeah, she had dried blood on her face.
From days before.
Yeah.
And you never cleaned her face for days?
No, he just kept her under the blanket.
Sickening. Absolutely sickening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you said yesterday, Friday, that you and Adam had talked about what to do together. Is that right? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that you sort of came together with the plan to say that Adam had taken Harmony to her mother's.
That's what Adam told me to say, yes.
Okay. I am going to switch over now to when you go to fit. Okay?
Which time?
With Adam, Declan, and Seamus,
Okay.
and the body of Harmony.
Okay.
And so Adam no longer had a car after December 7th, right?
Right.
And he no longer had the freedom to drive wherever he wanted to, right?
Right.
And when he drove, there would be somebody else in the car, right? He would be driving someone else's car, right? And sometimes he drove Badero's car, right?
That was way before.
Okay. And you still didn't have any money, right?
Right.
And from 2 days in Badero's car, you go to your mother's.
Right.
And I think you actually go to an aunt's or something, and from there, your mother comes over and gets you off.
Yes.
And you could only stay for a very limited time.
Yes.
She might get in trouble with her landlord.
Yes.
And so you were trying to get into the shelter.
Yes.
And you worked and applied and everything like that for the shelter.
Yes.
Would you walk over there to do that?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So you, Adam, and the kids would walk over to the shelter to apply for shelter there.
We walked to city welfare.
Okay. And would you, Adam, and the kids be in the office all together making the application?
When we filled out the application, yes.
Okay.
And then I saw the case manager I don't remember if we were together or if it was just me.
Okay. Now, when you told the jury that it fit, you had taken the duffel bag from the ceiling.
Overruled. Yes.
I didn't realize I had said it. Adam took the duffel bag down from the ceiling, right?
Yes.
And Adam was the one that put the duffel bag in the ceiling in the first place, right?
Yes.
And you said that he took the duffel bag down from the ceiling and had it in the shower for hours.
Had it in the bathroom. Yes.
Oh, was there a shower there?
Yes.
And did he have it in the shower for hours?
I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. And from the bathroom, where did it go?
To the closet.
In what?
Trash bag.
Okay. And then what?
CMC bag.
Okay. So it went from the bathroom into a trash bag, one of those big black things.
Yes.
And from there, it goes into the closet. For how long?
I don't know, a day or two.
Okay. And there, the trash bag and Harmony's body goes in the CMC bag.
Yes.
Okay. And I think you identified Exhibit 85 as pretty much a duplicate of the bag that you got from CMC, right?
Yes.
And this is a bag that's given when you give birth at CMC, right?
Yes.
And it's for diapers and carrying things around for your children, right?
Yes. Diaper bag.
Pardon?
Diaper bag.
Okay. And from the CMC bag with the trash bag and Harmony's body,
Yes.
where does it go?
To Portland Pie.
Okay. And then where?
To Union Street.
How?
In a tote.
Okay. From where to where did it go to Union Street? Where did it get in the tote?
From the shelter.
So how did the CMC bag get back to the shelter?
It came back from Adam's work. To the
Okay.
shelter.
Who brought it back?
Adam.
Okay. Who brought it to Portland Pie?
I did.
Okay. So are you saying that it's in the CMC? There's a body in a trash bag in the CMC bag in the tote
Not in the tote at the time.
when you go to Union?
When we go to Union, yes.
Okay. And so you told Okay. So you take the tote, you take the CMC to Portland Pie, not the plastic, right?
I'm confused.
So am I. I'll back up. Sorry. To reorient ourselves, at some point, you say that Adam takes the body down from the ceiling tiles.
Yes.
And it's because there's a smell.
Yes.
And it's because other people in FIT are concerned about the smell.
Yes.
And you all are concerned that somebody might be checking the place to find out about the smell.
Yes.
Because you've heard the complaints.
Yes.
And you're scared.
Yes.
And I think you said Adam takes Harmony's body down into the bathroom.
Yes.
And takes her body out of the duffel bag.
Yes.
And puts her body in a trash bag.
Yes.
And puts the trash bag in the closet.
In the CMC bag in the closet.
Okay. So from the bathroom, is her body put in the CMC bag?
In the trash bag. The trash bag's in the CMC bag.
And that all happens in the bathroom.
Yes.
And then you said, I believe on direct, that Adam tells you to take the CMC bag to Portland Pie.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
He had asked me to bring her body in the CMC bag to his work at Portland Pie.
When?
While we were at the shelter.
Was it right after you say that he put the body in the CMC bag?
Yes.
So like the next day?
I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple of days.
Okay. And where was he when he did this? Was he in the shelter with you saying, bring this body to me?
Yes.
So he's in the shelter with you and at some point goes to work?
Yes.
And has told you to bring this CMC bag to work?
Yes.
Why didn't he just take the CMC bag?
I don't know.
Okay. So you have 2 kids and a stroller, right?
Yes.
And so tell me about those arrangements, getting the seat, and you take the seat, all of that to Portland Pie.
Yes.
Tell me about how you did that.
It was a double stroller. So I had one kid in the front and there's a basket underneath, and I put the CMC bag in the basket, and then the other kid was on the other side, on the other seat.
Okay. So you take the CMC bag out of the closet and put it on the stroller?
Yes.
And is that inside fit or outside fit that you loaded on the stroller?
Inside.
And then you get your kids arranged
Yes.
as well inside.
Yes.
And then you walk down the street. And I think you said it took about 15 minutes or so.
Yes.
And you are walking with your children and the body of Harmony in a CMC bag to Portland Pie.
Yes.
And why? Why was it going there? Did you know?
He asked me to do it.
Okay. You didn't say anything, ask him why or anything?
He said he was doing it so that the smell wouldn't be at the shelter.
Okay. Did you tell him he should take it with him?
No, he called me when he was at work and told me to bring it.
Okay. So he didn't tell you to do that while he was at FIT.
He was thinking about it, but I didn't think he was really going to do that.
Okay. So he mentioned it at Fitz, but then calls you from Portland Pie and says, come on down.
Yes.
Okay. And then you have a place at Union Street, right?
Yes.
And somehow the body has returned to Fit
Yes.
before you move to Union Street.
Yes.
And you don't know how.
Adam brought it back.
Did you see him bring it back?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember if it came back. Yeah, because we had to bring it to the apartment.
Okay, and you brought it. The CMC bag in a plastic storage container, right?
Yes.
And you went to the Union Avenue apartment, and again, you have a stroller with your two sons,
Yes.
and now it is a plastic container that is on the stroller.
Yes.
Okay. And it wasn't a plastic container on the stroller when you went to Portland Pie.
No.
Okay. And when you got to Portland Pie, you and Adam put the body in a refrigerator.
It was his job,
Okay.
so he did.
That was his job. It was
His
to
job
handle.
was at Portland Pie.
Okay.
So he took the CMC bag inside and he said he put it in the freezer.
I'm sorry. I meant to be asking about Union Street, and I know that I misstate sometimes. So at Union Street, you're on a second floor,
Yes.
and you sign the lease and everything like that. And Adam brings the body upstairs,
Yes.
and the CMC bag is put in the refrigerator.
It's in the tote.
Okay.
When we were walking to the Union Street, the bag was in the tote. He brought the tote upstairs and put it in the closet.
Okay. And from the closet, it went to the refrigerator?
Yes.
Okay. Earlier, before I was specifically going over your activities at FIT and Union and Portland Pie, I had talked to you about a conversation that you had with Detective Dunleavy after the June 3rd interview, right?
Yes.
And you said that you had gone up to him and said that you had forgotten to tell him during the June 3rd interview that you had taken the diaper bag from the freezer and walked with it in the stroller to meet Adam at the back of Portland Pie.
Right.
That's what you told Detective Dunleavy, right?
Right.
And that you said the bag was there for 1 to 2 weeks, and then it was brought back to the Union Street apartment, right?
Right.
Okay. A little bit different from what you've just described, right?
Right. But I remember bringing it to his job from the shelter.
Okay.
Counselor, you want to approach? As I said, I look for what we consider to be natural breaking points. This sounds like one of them. So we're gonna break for lunch. So I'm gonna ask you to come back in an hour. So come back at 1 o'clock, please. We'll start at hopefully at about 5 after. I remind you, don't discuss the case with each other or with anybody else. Do not do any independent research. Make sure all your banners and notifications are turned off on your phones. no independent research. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you about 1 o'clock.
All rise for the jury.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to set up a stream for an hour from now, and we'll continue watching Kayla. I don't know what to make out of all of this. I mean, it's all just absolutely mortifying and no emotion. It's disturbing. So I am going to say goodbye for now. Well, I guess it's a see you later. I don't like this.
Montgomery, you may step down.
So you know what? I'll see you very, very soon in the next one. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye.